So you want to introduce yourself?
Yes. All right. So I'm Dawn Chase and I live in Fargo, North Dakota. And Leanne and I have been in touch over the years, doing some of her free workshops. And then I took the plunge and joined the corporate coach program and haven't looked back since. So that's me.
That's me. That's me. So I'm actually going to tell us a little bit about your coaching business as it comes to fruition.
There we go. Okay. So I actually have a teaching background, really a lot of great experiences and learnings, all different types of learning styles and focus areas. And so I decided that I wanted to focus my coaching program on women who are feeling like there's more, like they're stuck, like they want to help other people, but they are not sure how to figure out what their potential is. But, they feel like they have lost their identity, so to speak, and that they just really feel like they have a lot more to give, to offer, and to impact others. And I just want to help them through that.
Yes, beautiful. So needed today, as we are truly, as women, being called forward to really take the lead. We're supposed to be.
Wait.
Such a beautiful mission. Such a beautiful mission. So cool. So tell us a little bit about where you were before you joined the program. What was that like?
So I've always been a person who has a growth mindset, continuous learning, thirst for knowledge, feeling like there's something else out there that I need to know and utilize, and whether it's my daily life, whether it's how I raise my kids, whether it's interactions and things like that. So I've always been hungry to learn different things, just whatever piques my interest. But over the years, I had worked with another coach for a while, and I did make some headway in getting unstuck in my mindset, in just really coming back to terms with my own identity. That was part of it, right? And starting with boundaries and things that I was very leaky before. I guess that's not a good word, but that's what I was.
I love it.
Take on a lot of energy, a lot of other people's problems and things like that. And I was just spinning, and the things that I wanted to do, the things that lit me up, were not a major part of my day other than helping other people. But so Leanne, when I first caught one of your free workshops, your high energy, your joy, the way you shared the information. Now, remember, I'm an educator by trade. So the way the information is portrayed is very important to me. How the message is done, how it lands, and just there was different things about it. So I kept coming back for more of your free workshops. That's what I was doing. Testing the waters, right?
Absolutely.
And we met and had a conversation, and you called me on some things. And we had a lot of conversation, and you helped me see things from a different mindset, and not from a scarcity but an abundance, right? Not a limiting but an open-ended opportunity. The money thing was the biggest thing for me. We've come a long ways, my family and I, but as the breadwinner for many years, it's scary to say, okay, I'm just gonna spend this much money on myself, right? That was never something I was real big on, except for when I went to school. I was like, yeah, I'll get my master's, no problem, doesn't matter how much that costs, right? But this was something completely voluntary, and I like the worthiness piece of it, right? And so you and I had a long conversation about that, and I sat with my own self for a while and realized my intuition was saying this was the right thing. I had been saying for years I wanted to start my own coaching business, but I was too scared.
Yeah.
And so this was the time to do it. You were the right coach. And I talked to my husband and I didn't even get like 3 sentences out. He asked me a couple questions and you and I had already answered them because I said, these are the questions that are going to pop. And so you helped me with that. So thank you. And he, at the end of it, he goes, you have to do it. It's the right thing for you. So
Oh, so beautiful. Yeah. Such a great support. And just like taking it all the way through of like, oh my gosh, years, right? When we have this like vision for years and years and years. And
yeah,
you were, I love the fact that you worked with other coach and, different, that's part of your story, right? That's part of your experience and what brings it into your passion, your purpose, and your mission now.
yeah,
Right, giving other people the roadmap to be able to also get unstuck and see their true potential.
yeah,
And a big part of your story too is like investing and putting yourself first. Like that's a big one
yeah,
for
yeah.
a lot of us women.
Huge for me. Because I'm a people pleaser, recovering. I'm not perfect at it anymore, but I've definitely made a lot of progress in a lot of areas, right? And that's the one thing is that you helped me see too, is that at each time you up level, you're going to go back through some of the stuff you thought you already cleaned house on. So to go back to it doesn't mean you failed. That was a big one for me to learn, right? Doesn't mean you're not doing it right. It just means you're working on the next step. So
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. And what would you say? Like, so that's one of the pieces that you took from the program. What are some other like big moments or I mean, I don't even want to say big because like like we always say, it's just like every step is a big step.
Yeah.
Uh, so what are some of the key components that helped you from where you were of years of wanting to have a coaching business to where you are now
Yep.
with logo
Um,
and
yeah. Well,
clarity?
I would say there's a couple different aspects. The ladies in the group are huge for me. It's a comfort area. Everybody is going through similar but very different things. They're at different stages. Some already have their businesses in place and are evolving. Some are working through different aspects than I am, but we all come to the table. We all help each other out, and learning through others is huge, right? And even just to pose a question in there, like we've been doing, hey, how do you do this? And you or somebody else pops in and says, well, this is how I did it, right? Or you give us a training on it. Yeah. There's that too, right?
Like,
Um, but for me, it's about being accountable, it's being intentional, it's making sure that my weekly intentions match up to my monthly and 90-day plans. To commit to do something every day, whatever that looks like, right? Towards building it out. Right after the new year, I'd only been in the program 2 months. Yeah. Right after the new year, I filed for LLC. I have a name, I have a logo. I mean, just to be able to get that far that fast, I have a lot of work to do, guys. but to get that far that fast, that's huge, right? And to break through the imposter syndrome and to come to the table and say, Leanne, I'm really struggling here. I'm stuck. How do I get unstuck with this part, right? To have somebody that you can talk to in that way, right? To just help you move forward, or realize you're in your own way, right? Sometimes it's not that there's a problem, it's me. And
yeah, right. It's not an external, it's a me thing.
yeah.
No, I mean, think about it for like, since it's been in your mind for, years, it's like, what held you back? And I know for me, that was my story too, of like, it was me, it was all
Yeah.
my limiting beliefs,
Yeah.
it was.
It was fear. It was all the conditioning, all the stories, right? That other people said that you believed over the years or that you told yourself.
Yeah.
And I think a really big one for me was getting over the fact that it doesn't matter what other people think about you. Like, that's not your problem. And so that's been a big one for me is, yes, I want people to like me. Yes, I want the right people to come utilize my talents, but it doesn't matter. I'm not going to be the right person for everybody, right? And that was one of my holdbacks too, is I can't like say, I only want to work with this group and not the whole group, right? Because everybody needs help and I can't, that's discrimination and that,
Right?
all the thoughts that go through your mind, right? But you helped me through those things. And to also recognize that when the business launches, it will evolve, right? So, as I grow, as I learn, as I work with people, I might find a different route to take or an expansion to
Yeah.
where I am already focused. So
Absolutely. It's ever evolving, just like we are. Like you said, it's loving you always came from that growth mindset and wanting to learn. And that's what we're doing here too.
Yeah.
We're learning and we're evolving.
yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
For sure.
What has been, because you are still in the corporate world, I guess, what
Yeah.
has been one of the biggest I guess like difficulties for you being in the corporate world, working full-time and launching your business?
Yeah, it's been time management at times, right? Because there's some big things happening in my corporate world right now. So lots of change, lots of things to manage and lead my group through. But at the same time, for me, what's been also happening is actually a release. And I always called my job the golden handcuffs. That's what I called it.
Mhm.
And I think the handcuffs are coming off and now I'm making decisions and the boundary setting has been huge. So it's okay. My identity isn't tied into that anymore. Right. And so some of the changes that have been happening have been easier for me to work through because I'm like separate from it. Not truly, but it feels like I am pulling separate. I'm
Yeah,
still committed and doing my job
of course.
and I'm committed to all the stuff that I commit to there, but I'm less shackled to it, I guess.
Yeah, it's not a physical, it's not a physical, it's more of this internal release of,
Yeah.
again, this isn't my identity, whereas before. How has the program helped you with that? Like,
A lot from the mindset of, what, this is what you're doing, this is what you're successful at, but this is really your goal, this is really your dream, and you keep doing over here as long as you have to, but remember that this is where you're headed. And I think that's what's really helped me, is that the future isn't just sucking it up and doing what I'm doing day in and day out, right? It's about doing what I have to do right now to leave the legacy I intend to leave there while I'm setting up my future. So that's been the mindset shift. Like, I'm not stuck here anymore. I need to finish this out, right? But my future is over here.
yeah,
And I think that's been the best part.
yeah, beautiful.
Mhm.
So what would you tell women well, I guess, like, what were your top like obstacles, and what would you tell women that had those same obstacles for you of joining the program, who might be
Yeah.
like, who are sitting here watching?
Yep. My top obstacles obviously were my own worthiness into it, right? I've tried all these other things. Why do I think this one's going to work? Right.
Mhm.
Am I going to, duck out of this halfway through? Right. And you're spending this time and money and effort into it. And am I just going to like sabotage myself? Right. Because that's been kind of a history. And so that was a big one. Money was huge, right? Like I stated. But it was also a fear and ego. They're loud.
Oh my gosh.
They're
Yeah.
loud.
So what would you tell women who are also struggling?
I would say to just really sit with yourself and trust that you have what you need and that your dreams are worth fighting for, and that the benefit of being in this program to me is not that other people hold me accountable, but that I have something that keeps me moving forward. I can't just kind of like go quietly into the wind, right? I have somebody there saying, Don, are you okay? But it's about betting on yourself. because you're worth it. So
Beautiful. Oh, thank you. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. And thank you for, again, just like having this opportunity to really reach the women who, again, you know, like I think about it like we suffer, right? We suffer when we're not reaching our fullest vision, dream, potential. So it's, you know, you're speaking to women who are suffering and giving them hope. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything I can do to help, I'm here.
Thank you, Dawn.
Thank you for everything you've done for me, Leanne.
It's an honor and a pleasure. So I can't wait to hear more. I can't wait to hear more tomorrow.
Yay.
And see
Maybe.
how
No, I'll be there.
see how everything's going, see the progress, and
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
continue to move forward with you. So thank you so much, Dawn.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Too. Thanks. Oh, so good, so good. So who can relate? Hey, Margaret, good to see you. Who can relate to Dawn, right? Just any part of it, what part really stood out for you? Because, and I wanted to make sure, yeah, that you guys heard right, that we do, like, people are still working in their corporate jobs and creating this soul aligned coaching business, and some of their obstacles and the opportunities